Long-haul trucks are an important part of a functioning society. The items you order online, the clothes you wear, and the food you eat are all transported in trucks. Millions of them. But these same medium and heavy-duty trucks, which represent only about 4% of all vehicles on the road, are responsible for 22% of total transportation emissions. Climate change is here, and we're already feeling the effects of it worldwide. This has prompted manufacturers to embark on a race to produce zero-emission trucks. That is the story behind Cellcentric's greenfield journey. Daimler Truck, which had been working on hydrogen fuel cell electric technology for more than 20 years, teamed up with Volvo Truck, who has been further investing to start this new joint venture. The rationale is that a fuel cell powertrain is better suited for large trucks, whereas large battery packs could be too heavy for the vehicle's performance. With a scope of doing a carve-out of data, the transfer of hundreds of engineers that were working inside of Daimler, and the implementation of core PLM functionality, they started establishing a new IT environment with the main goal of enabling the rapid growth of production volume. Leaving the IT department at Mercedes-Benz, part of Daimler Truck, about a year and a half ago, Cellcentric's Uli Rix describes their speedy IT approach.
What we are doing will be, on the product side, something that was never done before. No one today builds fuel cell system in a huge number in a mass production. This is something that really is completely new. Your IT has to be extremely flexible and agile in the way that you can follow all the different ideas and the different streams that are coming. It was important to set up right from the beginning an IT that allows me to be fast and to grow fast. Not just to set up something as a status quo, but having a view into the future. To the cloud-first strategy is definitely the right way. There's more or less one assembly line now at the factory, and sooner or later there will be 10. But the factory for the mass production, there will be hundreds of assembly lines. That idea of the cloud that allows me to scale to all extents to make sure that we can scale up and also to be flexible and fast.
Uli brought in his experience from working at Mercedes-Benz, leaving behind an already established and comfortable IT castle.
Tell me about that conversion from legacy and where you were into where you are today.
The idea of Cellcentric was born by the knowledge of the Mercedes-Benz company doing fuel cells for more or less 20 years. And now the two trucking companies decided to make it as a product running on the street. It was clear that we have to become independent from all our history. And that means from an IT perspective, having a legacy, having a history of 20 years, there is a technical background, there's a behavior, there is people staying in their old world. We set up a small team and saying, okay, what is the essential of your current system and what do you need in the future system? Which company can be the best to run with us this or go with us this journey? Well, the outcome was that the PTC made a really good story for us. And within 2 or 3 months, then we had the decision and we could start immediately, more or less. Once we had our negotiation and our contract done, the cloud was ready. And we could start in July to start our migration and think about how to set up the new system. Using an agile approach, we had our complete storyline done with a clear target, put it down into epics and user sprints. We made it this migration from a classic legacy PLM system from the old company into our venture environment in Cellcentric.
For Uli, leveraging the cloud was all about speed and flexibility. Implementing on-premises would take too long to meet Cellcentric's digital transformation objectives.
If you say, okay, we are going to the cloud, within a second you have your environment, and you just need to define, okay, we have a dev 1, we have a dev 2, we have a dev 3, we have a quality system and a production. Once your contract is ready, and you can start. And this is, I would say, it's a difference of a year or so. Once it is clear what you want to do, and if you want to do it fast, then I think the time is the more important thing compared to the budget and the money.
How about your other applications like ERP, and do all of these work together in the environment?
The cloud first idea is not just restricted to PLM. It's all over. All my IT is born in the cloud. We moved our ERP into the cloud. We have our office environment completely in the cloud. Everything is now cloud-based. I have no data center anymore. Integration is definitely something that you need to be aware of. You have to have the right partners to help you in that integration. But for example, NX and Windchill, it is working. And it doesn't matter if you have your PLM in an on-prem or in a cloud-based environment. And the NX side, it runs in my Azure Virtual Desktop environment. The data migration was done in the way that we said, okay, we will move into a neutral format so that it's easier to start with our PLM from this new baseline, leaving also a lot of processes, a lot of definitions in the old company, and could do it as new, which is also something that is not as easy as it sounds. You have to convince a lot of people that they think new. Let's say it that way. Start to accept that we have a big change, and you can't stay with the old world if you want to do a new thing.
Engineers love to see how fast suppliers can be onboarded in the system and able to work inside the Windchill environment.
I think this is the future. If you want to be fast, that's the only way how you can really be fast. Because if you always wait till you have something ready, put it into a package, throw it over a fence, and somebody else takes over and is working on it, that's too slow. It has to be clear that within the same time when I'm working on my product and I need information from my supplier, and the supplier can see it in real time.
When you talk about suppliers and working with you in the system, how about cybersecurity?
I'm completely convinced with that zero trust approach that we are running in our cloud. Your security level is higher than on-premise environments where you try to set up a firewall and then dig in holes into your firewall to allow people to go through. And I think this is more critical from a security aspect than to run it completely in a cloud-based environment. I do have a security officer guiding me through all my processes. So what we are doing is we are calling it security by design and not security by control. That allows me to spend a little bit more time in the planning phase maybe for the security, but afterwards I don't need to control so much.
In addition to Cellcentric's ambition to achieve sustainable transportation, they're looking at cloud-enabled digital thread for solving aspects of their own internal sustainability challenges.
How about Cellcentric yourself as a sustainable company, and maybe how PLM can help you in that?
Cellcentric by itself is using hydrogen and being carbon neutral. This is for sure. And I'm convinced that whenever you can do something on a digital basis, instead of doing it, for example, on a test bench, doing it by simulation, it allows you to be more sustainable by itself. With this digital approach that we have, sustainability is automatically a part of it.
Valerie Greshner is product manager for Workplace at Cellcentric. As part of her role within IT, she helps employees by supporting their work streams within their departments.
How have you been working with the engineering community to make sure that they stay productive and you provide them right things?
We needed to ensure that the data was migrated, and then as we also introduced new tools, so for example, we introduced Windchill as our new PLM tool, which was not used before. We also needed to provide trainings, and we had a core team with people from the business units and from the different engineering departments that supported us. We tried to include them as early as possible, also to help their colleagues then to transfer and to make this also change to the new system better and more easier for them.
How well has that been adopted by your engineering community, and how has that gone so far?
In some topics, they see the benefits, definitely, but you also have to think of that for them it has been also a change. They really were sometimes a little bit affected, but we try to keep them in the loop, to also include them in tests so that they're also informed what's going on and to really see the big benefits when we have really finalized all the topics.
For Cellcentric, the road ahead is bright. They have been moving rapidly thanks to their cloud-based digitalization strategy. However, there's still more work to be done.
How do you help the company get to the next step?
We need to revise our current IT applications. So what we will do is that we match the applications that we have on at the moment with our IT strategy of cloud first. And then we see which applications we might reduce or transfer to other ones so that we really get the best package for the engineers.
What's it like for you and working in this kind of environment?
It's very exciting and it's also very fast, but on the positive side, because you really see that you reach topics that you wouldn't have thought of within weeks. And it's just a new dimension and also way of working together. I would say if you're curious and are a team player and you bring in a very positive mindset of being open to new things and to reaching stuff and topics together, then you're right fit.
By leveraging a cloud-first approach, Cellcentric has been agile, flexible, and accelerated collaboration, which they were able to implement in a fraction of the time it would take others. For this young manufacturer, green fields extend over the horizon. They're on a path to becoming the first large-scale hydrogen fuel cell manufacturer and helping to solve the world's most pressing air pollution challenges.